Okay, imagine this for a second. You're working, relying on these digital tools, these code extensions, day in, day out. And then boom, you find out one of them, something you trust, might have had, well, a hidden danger inside. It's a bit like finding, I don't know, something nasty planted right in your toolbox.
Completely unexpected, right?
And that's basically the kind of situation we're going to unpack today. We're looking at a pretty significant security incident involving Amazon's AI tool, the Q developer extension for Visual Studio Code.
Right. And it's significant not just because it's Amazon, but the scale is.
Yeah.
Wow. We're talking about an extension used by potentially, nearly 1 million developers?
Nearly 1 million users. That's the potential reach here. And our mission for this deep dive is really to get our heads around how this happened. How does a coding helper, something built with generative AI to help people get compromised like this?
It's a critical question.
Yeah, and what really jumped out at me initially was this wasn't just some small bug. There was this hacker, alias Ulkmanka58, who apparently managed to inject actual malicious code, like data wiping instructions.
Data wiping, yeah. That's the phrase that catches everyone's attention.
Right, directly into Amazon Q's GitHub repository. And crucially, this wasn't caught internally right away. A compromised version, 1.84.0, it actually got distributed.
Publicly distributed.
Publicly. Through the Visual Studio Code marketplace on July 17th. So people were downloading this.
Which is quite astonishing when you think about it. It immediately makes you ask, okay, how does something like that slip through the cracks at a company like Amazon?
My thoughts exactly.
And the sources we've seen suggest, well, it points towards maybe a misconfigured workflow. Or perhaps weak permission controls on their GitHub side.
Weak permissions. Can you elaborate a bit on that? Like, what does that actually mean in practice?
Sure. It could mean a few things. Maybe an automated process, like a CI/CD pipeline, had too much power, like overly broad write permissions. Or perhaps, a crucial step was missed, like a mandatory human code review on a key part of the code base.
Ah, okay.
It basically suggests a breakdown, not just in the tech itself, but in the human processes, the checks and balances designed to catch exactly this kind of thing.
A breakdown in process. Okay, that sounds simple, but for Amazon, that feels like a pretty big deal, doesn't it? Doesn't that hint at a more, I don't know, systemic issue?
It certainly could, yes. And that's why this is such a potentially powerful learning moment for everyone, really.
So how did they miss it? And maybe more importantly, what was this hacker actually trying to do with these, scary data wiping commands? Was it meant to cause chaos?
Well, let's trace the timeline first because that gives context. The rogue code got into version 1.84.0, but it wasn't Amazon initially who spotted it. It took until July 23rd.
Right, wasn't it external researchers?
Yes, exactly. External security researchers flagged suspicious behavior. They're often the unsung heroes in these situations, really. They alerted Amazon, who then, thankfully, launched an immediate investigation.
And Amazon did respond quickly, to give them credit.
They did, very swiftly.
Yeah, because by the next day, July 24th, they had a clean update out, version 1.85.0, and this new version removed the bad code, revoked whatever credentials might have been compromised. AWS put out a public security bulletin, too. I think I have the quote here.
Yeah. They said AWS Security identified a code commit targeting the Q developer's CLI command execution. We immediately revoked and replaced the credentials, removed the unapproved code, and published a clean version. And they pulled the bad version, 1.84.0, from all channels.
Which is the right response, absolutely.
Yeah.
But now we get to the really interesting kind of nuanced part. The debate about whether that malicious code, the data wiping part, actually did anything. Did it trigger?
Right, because AWS said it couldn't run, it was formatted incorrectly or something?
Yeah.
Precisely. AWS emphasized it couldn't execute because of incorrect formatting. But some others looking at it argued it did technically trigger, it just didn't manage to cause any actual damage because of that formatting error. And then you have the hacker statement. They apparently claimed the intent wasn't destruction, but a warning specifically about the security risks of AI-generated code.
A warning. So hang on. The code is there. It's designed to wipe data, but it's maybe broken. But the intent is still there, even if it's framed as a warning. Does non-functional really make it okay? Or is the fact it got in at all the real issue here? What's your take?
That's exactly the crux of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
While, yes, Amazon's quick fix and the likely formatting error probably prevented a real disaster, the fact remains that code intended to wipe data made it into a production release from a major company. That's deeply unsettling.
Yeah, unsettling is the word.
And this idea of it being a warning, it leads us straight to that question. how close did we actually come here? It's almost like I don't know, a digital graffiti artist making a very pointed statement, right? A provocative act forcing us to look at the security of the tools we use every day.
A digital Banksy, maybe. That's an interesting analogy. And if we zoom out, this isn't just about Amazon Q, is it? It really highlights this bigger problem of supply chain attacks, especially now with AI getting mixed into everything.
Absolutely. It's a perfect, if worrying, example.
For anyone listening who might not be familiar, can you quickly explain what a supply chain attack is in this context?
Sure. Basically, instead of attacking the end user directly, the attacker goes after a component within the software development process. It could be a code library, a build tool, or like here, a developer extension. They compromise that thing.
Which then gets distributed to potentially thousands or millions of users downstream.
Exactly. You poison the source and it spreads.
Yeah.
And what's really insightful, or maybe concerning, here is how the AI assistant itself became the attack vector.
Yeah, the thing designed to help becomes the entry point.
Right. It shows our trust is expanding, you know. We're not just trusting code libraries anymore. We're trusting these intelligent co-pilots embedded right into how we work. This whole incident is just a sharp reminder that one crack, one missed check in an internal process can ripple out globally, especially in today's interconnected software world.
No doubt. Which brings us to the immediate takeaway, the really vital point for anyone listening. If you use these kinds of tools, especially Amazon Q, you absolutely need to check your version. Make sure you're on the latest clean one, which is 1.85.0.
Please do. Version 1.84.0 is the compromised one, and while it's pulled, better safe than sorry. Vigilance is key.
Definitely. So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening? Whether you're deep in development, just a tech enthusiast, or someone who uses these digital systems every day?
Well, it's clearly more than just needing to patch one tool, isn't it? This whole episode kind of forces us to maybe rethink trust in our entire development ecosystem as AI gets woven deeper and deeper into our tools.
Yeah.
Are we just creating new, more complex ways for things to break? Do we need a totally different security mindset for this AI-integrated world? Or maybe is this the same old security challenge wearing a fancy new AI coat?
That's a really good question to chew on. How do we balance the amazing speed and power AI offers with, the critical need to guard against these new kinds of digital threats? Something to think about.